Welcome back to In La Cocina, in the kitchen. I'm your host, Mike Gonzalez. I've got Lynn Wiedemann with me with Cook With Us, and we are back in the cookwithus.com kitchen. This is where we develop all the cool recipes that you see every weekend here on In La Cocina. We're so glad to have you.
Thank you,
Very
Mike.
excited to actually, get the person behind Cook With Us. So this is a lot of fun for us.
Yeah, this is fun.
Let's, before we get into this wonderful paella dish that we're going to cook for you, let's talk about Cook With Us a little bit, because you guys are a school, you got a website.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about what you guys are all about.
Well, Cook With Us has been it's been growing since 2004. We started with a cooking school in Mexico. And at this point now, what we're doing is blogging about food, developing recipes, and giving cooking classes. So kind of trying to hit it on all sides. So
very cool.
Yeah,
and they do classes at the Kitchen Engine. We'll talk a little bit about that later. And they're also at cookwithus.com.
Right.
And we've got a link on our website, HispanicFoodNetwork.com. So you've got plenty of access to all their wonderful recipes. All right, so let's get into this paella. I love paella because it's got so many awesome little ingredients here.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Let's first talk about, we were talking about before we came on air, that there's a couple of key ingredients, right, to the paella?
The two key ingredients would be the saffron, and that is right here. And this is a saffron from Spain, which is just so fragrant and just wonderful. So that gives it a really distinct flavor. The other spice that's really, really important is the
paprika.
Yeah, it's smoked. So this is from
Spain. It's kind of got
Spain.
that earthy type
really,
feel.
really good.
I know, it smells so good.
So these two things I would say are most important ingredients to give it its distinction.
Let's run through the ingredients real quick.
All right. Onions, garlic, parsley, and of course, very fresh rosemary. This is right from our garden.
Oh, that's so nice.
So that's good. And then we have
all
all the...
we have the staples here.
Yeah, I mean, this is...
Camarones.
Right, chorizo. Pen-cold mussels.
Oh, the mussels right
and
here.
And a beautiful chicken, and you want to use skin on with your chicken. I mean, if you use a boneless chicken breast, you're not going to get that flavor. So these are actually chicken thighs that we're using today.
Very nice.
So
and I know a lot of people, when you cook paella, they look at the pan and they say, oh my goodness, where do I get a pan
hot too.
Yeah, so you can have a pan like this. This is obviously for paella.
Yeah, this is.
But you don't necessarily have to use this type of pan, right?
You don't. You don't. I mean, if you know that you entertain a lot of groups, it's wonderful.
So you could actually use a flat pan like this.
That would work really good.
But we wanted to show you not to use this one, because you don't want to use a saucepan.
Yeah, it's too deep. You want wide bottom and just a few inches.
Okay, so we get rid of this saucepan. You don't want to mess with this saucepan. She's out. See ya.
No.
Goodbye.
But I sprung for the paella pan because we do it for cooking classes and we entertain a lot, and it's wonderful.
Very cool. And plus, it looks cool.
Well,
I mean, if you pull this thing out, you can tell I cooked paella one time.
Right. And we also use it for a serving thing. It works great, So.
Very cool. All right, so what's our first step that we've got to do, Lynn?
Well, the first thing we have to do is what they call bloom the saffron.
Awesome.
So you get a little bit of warm water that we have here.
Okay.
And if you would just put the saffron right in there.
Okay.
It's over that right there.
I was like, where'd you put it?
There it is. If you just put that in there.
All right.
And we'll just stir it up. And what this does, it actually, so you can see it changing color.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It kind of gives it that yellow
That
look.
will really enhance the flavor.
And how much water are we looking at right here?
That was about a half a cup. So we'll just let that sit. And then what we need to do is brown the chicken.
All right. So what are we looking at? Medium heat?
You want a kind of a high heat, actually.
Okay.
I'd say medium high.
Medium high?
We're just trying to brown this. And if you do that, just kind of make sure it browns. I'm going to get a platter because as this browns, we're going to take it off.
All right, sounds good. I can handle that.
And I did salt and pepper it, but I think we're going to just put a little extra pinch of salt on there.
And like you said, you keep the skin on that. Tell us the reasoning behind that again.
The reasoning is there's a lot of flavor in the skin. It's not going to dry out. And after it's all cooked, if you do not want to eat the skin, just pull it off.
I know. You know what always happens to me? I always get guilty. I take the skin off my chicken, and then what I wind up doing is I look at the skin and I go, God, that looks so good, and then I just eat the skin, and I think to myself, why did I not just keep it on the chicken?
Right.
Maybe I'm weird, but I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that do this.
I'll eat it if it's really, really crispy.
Just keep the skin on. Who cares? It's about the taste.
Smells good already.
It does, yeah.
See how nice that's getting?
Oh,
Go
so
ahead and throw in the chorizo and let that brown too.
I'm just gonna chuck them in.
Yeah,
I'm a guy.
that looks good. We'll brown all that a little bit because it will keep cooking later as we put back in the pan.
And tell us what's in the chorizo because that looks so good.
This is pork chorizo, and it's a Mexican-style sausage. Has a lot of the Mexican herbs in it. It has some peppers. It has cumin in it, a little bit of cumin, a little bit of paprika also. Really good, really good.
It smells good, I'll tell you what.
Looks
Okay, our chicken is brown. We've got our meatballs ready to go, so we're ready to take them off the plate, right?
Yep.
All right, I can handle that.
I can help you if you like.
Yeah, and like you said, it's not about cooking the chicken all the way through, right?
No. You just want it nice and golden on the
Okay,
outside.
so you can see that golden. All right, so we're ready to throw our onions in.
Yep.
My favorite of all time.
Same thing. We'll let those brown a little bit and then add the garlic.
How long do we want to keep our onions in?
We just want to let them get a little translucent and soft. 5 minutes or so.
So 5 minutes?
Yeah, and see how we're getting up those nice bits. Oh, that's so good. So we'll just let that go a little bit.
Oh my goodness, the aroma coming from that pan.
We'll let that cook just a bit, and then if you can add
Got
the wine. That's
okay.
just a nice dry white wine.
And how much we got here?
That's about a cup there.
It's about a cup.
Oh yeah.
This is a nice white wine, right?
That's what I love. The aroma.
Is that what? Do we always use white wine in our paella?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
never. You can't if you substitute your red and go,
No.
oh my, I don't have white, so that's not gonna work out.
You know, you could just even add water if you don't have a wine.
okay.
You know, because we are going to add this chicken stock, which is really rich. So, if you would add for me, please, the parsley. Let's add.
All right, we got our parsley here.
And about half of that.
Just
We'll
about half?
Yeah. We want to put in our parsley.
Okay.
Just stir that around. Let's add some of the rosemary, the dried, right there.
Oh, there we go.
Little dried rosemary, and about.
How much you want?
You go and I'll.
You tell me when.
Yeah, that's good.
All right.
Yeah, and that was about a teaspoon. I'm trying
About
to
a
do.
teaspoon?
Yeah,
Okay.
about a teaspoon. The same amount of the thyme.
All right, we got the thyme here.
Oh, the smell is so good. You want to add about a teaspoon to
Okay,
that.
so we're good right there.
Doesn't that smell good?
It does. The aroma is amazing. I
So
can't
we've
even
got
tell you.
that, and that looks really good. And we probably could put a pinch of the pepper flakes in.
All right,
and
where's
that's
the pepper?
right
Okay,
there.
my fault. Right there.
Yeah, I'd say that's enough. You know, the pepper flakes, that's something that if you like your food really spicy, you add a little bit more of that. If not, we'll just let that cook for a minute.
Okay, so we've got the onions and all our other ingredients. It smells so good.
Doesn't it?
So what do you want me to do at this point?
Well, I have about 6 cups.
Okay.
So I'm going to pour that in.
Alrighty.
Oh,
We got our saffron mix that we showed you at
Right.
the beginning right here. This is the part that really separates and
right.
makes
That
the
gives,
paella special, right?
I can smell it already.
Oh, I know.
Isn't
This
that-
is amazing.
Now we can put all this back in the pan.
Okay, so
You would put
just
that
kind of
in?
gently
Yeah,
step
I'll-
back, Lynn.
Yeah. There we go. All that.
Oh,
And now we're going to add the rice.
Okay.
There's an interesting little technique
I
to
was
this.
just so
to
engaged.
this, right.
Are you wanting me to do something? I'm attracted to this smell.
No, I know.
All right. So at this
It's
point,
so
we can take our rice and just
But
add
there
it
is
right
a
in.
little trick to this
Okay.
rice. Pour it in just like this. This
So like
does
in a
not have
in a cross fashion.
Right. It has no
religious significance?
No. And I've researched this, and they say they do it like this so they can get a feel for how much rice they're putting
Oh
in.
wow, interesting.
So I do it that way.
The
too.
smell, it smells like it's coming from El Dios himself.
I
mean,
know,
I'll tell you
doesn't
what,
it?
it does
Maybe
smell
that's-
good.
maybe that's it.
Maybe there is some religious significance to it.
That is so delicious. Now we want to put 1 sprig
Okay.
or 2, a couple sprigs of this fresh rosemary.
And this is actually out of your garden.
This
isn't
is out of the Cook With Us
it? Very
garden.
nice.
Might be enough right there, but since I have. We'll just place that in there.
And the cool thing about this dish is you can make a lot of it. It can last.
It's a party dish. It really is.
So it's either a party dish, or if you want to make a big meal for.
And you serve it right from the pan.
Oh,
so you just set it in the pan. You do some beautiful crusty bread, some sangria, which we're going to make.
Oh man, you know where I'm eating dinner tonight?
Yes, and cook with us.
You have an extra room, don't you, here somewhere, so I can just move in? Nah, Frank wouldn't like that.
So, the trick is not to stir this dish.
Oh.
So many, you know.
What's the reasoning behind that?
You just let it soak up and cook. It's not like a jambalaya. It's not some of the other rice dishes that you stir.
You constantly stir.
You just kind of leave it.
And man, the flavor of this is, of all the things that we've made, this is one of the most flavorful dishes.
I think so.
The aroma just really shoots off the pan.
It does.
It really does. And it's not really all that complex.
It's not.
I mean, you know, there's a few steps here, but it's pretty easy.
It's having the freshest, the best ingredients. Now, as the rice cooks, we're going to see that this rice is going to absorb about maybe 2/3 of the way through. We'll take out our fresh mussels and our shrimp, and we'll just stick them in there, and it'll finish cooking.
So that kind of gives it that final flavor.
And at the very end, we'll turn the heat up to get those crispy bits that are at the bottom of the pan, and that's what everybody fights over. They love that. So
it's always that crispy part that everybody loves. I don't know what it is. Okay, so we are at the end of the road with our paella. Man, does it smell good, Lynn? It looks so good. We talked about the color, the flavor, the smell, the aroma in the house. So
I mean, it's so impressive.
I know.
If you put this out for your guests, you know.
All right, so we've come to my favorite part. We've got our sangria. We're ready to plate this stuff, right? And it's a simple dish.
It
really wasn't that hard. I mean, there's quite a few ingredients, but you know, the overall key to it just seems to be, you know, let it sit, let it, don't stir it, and just let those ingredients really come together.
Right. And I'm going to give you. We made this beautiful bread today, so I'm just gonna. Well, that's a little
just
big.
break it off.
Break it off and. This is rustic food.
I know,
so we'll just
really
each have a nice piece of rustic bread, nice crispy.
I'm gonna blow it a little bit because it is hot.
Yeah, tell me how it is. Oh, looks so good.
Oh man,
good.
That was a shrimp, so tender.
Hot, but good. Rice is so tasty.
It's also good, Lena.
It is. We love it.
Good thing I had you here to help me make it. All right. We got this recipe on cookwithus.com as well as our website, HispanicFoodNetwork.com, and you can get links to both websites on our websites. Hey, this was awesome.
Oh, good. I'm glad you liked it.
And if you like Lynn, you can catch her over at the Kitchen Engine too. She gives classes out there with her husband Frank all the time. So we hope you enjoyed this dish.
Buen provecho.
Adios.
Adios.
We'll see you next time right here on In La Cocina.